The John Howard Society of Saskatchewan has been serving the community for over 60 years. We are a dedicated, nonprofit organization made up of over 90 specialized professionals who work to provide effective, just, and humane responses to the causes and consequences of crime. At our 4 branches across the province, we offer compassionate programming aimed at engaging at-risk people through both criminal and social reform. The positive impact of these programs reverberate throughout the community and prove to be insurmountably important to the many individuals that rely on them. We have worked hard at developing relevant programming that fulfills the need of communities that we are part of. One of our greatest assets is the readiness of our team to build on and move with the ongoing challenges of navigating the criminal justice system. At John Howard, we understand that collaboration is an important part of the community's safety, health, and wellness. Our staff contributes to boards, committees, and associations that are vital to society and the communities we serve.
Moose Jaw Pride and John Howard Society of Saskatchewan have a community partnership where we work together on a few different initiatives, but primarily we access the Fine Option program. The biggest benefit for us is obviously just having people to help us run our events. Most of our events are run by volunteers, and so we really can't do a lot of the programming that we want to do without the help of volunteers. And so having the John Howard Society there to do the Fine Option program, I think that really helps us quite a bit. I think one of the things that I think is most exciting about this program is that a lot of the people who have hours to work off haven't done a very serious crime. Sure, they've made mistakes, but we're not here to make people feel bad about that or to punish them in any way. People already realize they've done something wrong, and we're here to turn that negative into a positive. And so I think that's the real beauty of the Fine Option program.
Through the restorative justice lens, we understand that crime can violate people, damage relationships, and negatively affect the community. That's why at the John Howard Society, we make the effort to repair the harm. The central focus of restorative justice is the needs of victims and the responsibility of the offender to repair the harm that they have caused. And if not us, then who would help Jay?
I was hanging out with the wrong people, and I felt that I had to do the wrong things to impress them. So I ended up getting charged with criminal mischief, and I was given the choice between going through the court system or through John Howard's, and I chose John Howard. One of my agreements was cleaning buses, which was community service. Then I had 2 donations, which was just a cash value that I handed in and was donated to businesses or associations. And other than that, I went through the mediation process, which is meeting face-to-face with all of the victims and finding out the full extent to the crimes that I committed, not just the damage that happened to the vehicles, but what actually happened to their lives afterwards. It definitely changed my perspective on the events. Even though I had been a victim of criminal mischief on my vehicle before that, it didn't clue in that the victims feel personally attacked from it. It's almost like a second chance because everyone screws up, and obviously some people screw up worse than others. Like, not everyone gets charged, but it's definitely nice having a system here that will help you through it, like John Howard's.
Between victim, offender, and mediator, the goal is to address underlying issues and focus on education and information. The program supports healing, reintegration, and the prevention of future harm. If not us, then who would help Sarah?
A few years ago, I was involved in a domestic violence situation. I feared for my safety, and I didn't want to be the next victim in the hospital. I was charged with misleading the police. Came through the John Howard through mediation. I met with the victim. I found it quite nerve-wracking. I knew I was wrong. The contract that I signed, I ended up doing volunteer services, working bingos, taking anger management, and one-on-one counseling. I completed the program, and my mentor asked me if I'd be willing to sit on the John Howard board. A few years later, I was asked by a caseworker to be a victim surrogate. I said yes because I see how John Howard works and how I got a second chance, and it's a great program and we need to keep it going. Just because they have done something wrong doesn't mean that they will for the rest of their lives. Everybody deserves the help and to be set on the right path and take the responsibility for their own actions.
Having been with our police service for 22 years and seen some of the magic that's taken place, I honestly don't know what we'd do without the John Howard Society or some agency filling that role. It's one thing to go from that that traditional punishment or even the offender rehabilitation side of it, but the restorative side takes it to a whole nother level where you're getting them involved in the process and helping them actually see what their impact has been from a policing perspective. It's reducing the likelihood of that offender committing that crime again and having that negative impact on the community. So the John Howard Society is able to take that offender and sort of really work with them to reduce the likelihood of that negative impact.
It's absolutely important that we've got a partner here with John Howard in town. We've got some common goals, obviously, as far as with crime prevention. And our correction facilities are full, they're bursting at the seams. So we need to put other things in place where we can divert a lot of those people. And you look at a lot of the more minor crimes that are occurring, and some people that with some proper programming and proper education don't belong incarcerated in situations where they're institutionalized. So I think that people that I've dealt with have grown from that situation and again aren't likely to reoffend again versus if they were to go through the more traditional approach and potentially become institutionalized. It's great that we have an option with John Howard, with the programming that they have, where we can find the right fit for the case that we're dealing with as officers.
Over time, the John Howard Society responds to a growing concern, including social programming that seeks to service young people in the community of all developmental stages. The work we do through our Peer Home program provides a safe opportunity to build new life skills and improve upon the abilities of our warded young people. And if not us, then who would help Tyson?
I had a crazy family, a lot of siblings, lived at grandma's, lived at my parents' houses. And I thought it'd just be easier living in one of the homes like this. So I inquired about it and I was actually accepted into it, and I got to live in one of the houses. Well, I've lived in 3 out of the 4 houses they have in John Howard right now, actually. There was perks to them that I didn't have available to me at home, and I thought I'd jump on that and then, use some of those tools to my advantage. I was no angel growing up in my early teen years. Coming into John Howard changed a lot of it. I had a strong support from my worker, and he helped me get through a lot of things. He always came to bat for me, and he always did his best to push me forward. It's been nothing but a positive experience coming through John Howard. From where I think I would be if I didn't come in here, I wouldn't be nowhere near where I am today.
Through the supported independent living program, we assist young people in acquiring the skills and experience needed to make a successful transition to independence and adulthood. If not us, then who would help Aliona?
The circumstances that led me to be in John Howard, I was in foster care and I didn't have very many options. The way I grew up was very, very hard, and it still affects me to this day. Sometimes you didn't have a home, so you were on the street. Sometimes you got thrown into a hotel. I was in the outreach program first before I was in the independent living, and outreach are pretty much a support. Like, they help you in any way they can out in the community. SIL program had a big impact. All my life I had people giving up on me, and I never had anybody around. And everybody in the SIL program was there and still is in my life. And even though I was a very bad kid sometimes, they always seen the good part. And for them not to give up is something that really means a lot to a lot of people.
I was 14 years old when I stepped in. I was living with my auntie. She basically raised me up until I left, which was my starting point from 14 when I stepped into John Howard. I basically had counseling for my needs, for schooling, like whatever else, like whatever activities I wanted to be in, they helped me each step. And like these people, like they help you like as much as they can on their part. So on your part, you have to say, okay, I'm either gonna do this or I'm not. Now that I'm aged out and I'm no longer with them, they still keep me in contact for work. I'm like their maintenance cleaner, so I help them like whatever needs to get cleaned around the office. I'm there for them. I mean, like they've been part of my life for close to 8 years now, and I can't be happy having them in my life.
Through the John Howard residential programs and supported independent living program, our caseworkers are trained to deal with multiple issues that includes mental health, addictions, and crisis management. And if not us, then who would help Shiloh?
Grew up within the social services system. Pretty confusing, having people that I don't even know come in my life and dictate my life, you know, be like, yo, we're gonna be sending you to this, and I have no idea what it was gonna be like or what I was gonna be expecting. I got involved with John Howard in their youth housing programs, 14, 15, going up into 16, 17, and multiple group homes in the city. I was envious of everybody else. You know, everybody else seemed like they had the life. You know, it got me to a point where I ended up confronting a person and stealing a skateboard. You know, I ended up getting arrested, charged. It had me think and realize that, you know what, stuff does come with consequences. It can either be positive or it can be destructive. I got involved with SLIP through aging out of boys' homes. Kind of the first person to integrate into independent living. Got taught how to pay bills, pay rent, do some life skills on my own. With John Howard, they gave me an opportunity for myself. They never try to control me. They gave me the choice of responsibility. And being in their programs, knowing on how far I made it, kind of gives me a spark of hope.
We take pride in the accomplishments of the young people we serve through the supported independent living program. Their success is evidence of the impact felt in the community. If not us, then who would help Ada?
Growing up, it was very challenging. I had cerebral palsy, and I also was diagnosed with hydrocephalus at birth, and just growing up, I knew that I was different. For about 3 months, I was put into foster care when I was 6 years old, but then after that, I returned back with my mom. When I was 9 years old, I was put into foster care for the second time, but this time it was different. And when that happened, I faced lots of abuse, and I had to grow up very fast because of it. When I was 14, I was moved to group homes. Living in a group home, it was very different because I wasn't really used to being told what to do. So I had lots of anger and everything that it wasn't dealt with because of the foster homes. So my social worker set me up with an organization called John Howard Society, and I'm involved in the supported independent living program. And what this program does is it helps people who are just getting on their own, like young adults, learn about budgeting, learn about cooking, learn about just like things that will help us stay independent. And it's just a place, like you could just like feel the love when you go into that place because there's so many people there and they're all so nice to you. If I could tell people about John Howard, I would say that it's an amazing organization that helps people, and it's just an amazing place to be.
To respond to the growing needs of the community, new programming is introduced in the city of Prince Albert. The Alternative to Remand program offers those accused another way to traditional punishment, with the focus on reducing the chance of reoffending. The John Howard Society is committed to responding to the problems associated with crime. We believe in the social outcome of those involved with navigating the justice system. And if not us, then who would help Darwin?
My stage name is Detox, and I am a rapper from Regina. I was always in and out of trouble, in and out of Dojack, in and out of foster homes, surrounded by alcohol, drugs, and gangs. I think I was 14 years old, and I was stealing cars at the time, and bikes. And so I had to pay restitution or work hours off. So that's how I got involved with John Howard. The majority of people, I think it's looking at it negatively, like, oh, it's just a place to go and do hours, but this place made it bigger than that, like where you can just come out here, and the staff here really makes this place better, just because, you know, they're very friendly, they're very open and non-judgmental. They will talk to you and speak to you in a way like that helps you and, you know, provides a safe place for you and benefits you in your life. I hope a lot more people would see that and come through, you know.
I was sentenced to 25 years. I spent like 22 and a half years in Saskatoon. Eventually, you know, made it to a minimum institution, and after 28 years, I was granted day parole. I kind of knew about John Howard, you know, a while back, about, you know, helping people and that. That's helped me integrate back into society with all the changes that after 28 years has been difficulty at times. They've been a good support for me. They give me, opportunities where I wasn't able to in the community. One of them was like job. Whenever they, need help with anything, they just give me a call and I'm over here. It feels like family. It gives me an opportunity to feel like somebody, feel like a normal person. It's giving me motivation to look forward that everything's not at the end of the world kind of thing. It's kind of just to make me feel like a human being.
We do this work because we believe in what we're doing. We review, evaluate, and advocate for positive change in the criminal justice system. We work to support people who've come in conflict with the law. We engage the public to promote the prevention of crime and the wellness of those affected by it. We believe in the social outcome of all those who need support. And why do we do it? Because if not us, then who? Effective, just, humane. The John Howard Society of Saskatchewan.